Morning, guys. It's 17 after 5 in the morning. It is July 28th, 2021. It is Wednesday. John C. Grows from California. What's going on, guys? Athletes go through a hell of a lot of training, mentally and physically, and when they feel like they're off their game, it's important for them to realize and recognize this. You cannot hold it against them. But the thing of it is, I know somewhere, actually some people actually do hold it against them because they feel like they've let them down. They feel like they've let themselves down. At least I know some of the athletes in the past have tried to talk about this and had the stigma a long time ago of mental health illness being a real bothersome pain in the ass. These days, in the last 20, 30 years, within that time period, we've recognized that mental health does play a crucial role when it comes down to competition. I wouldn't know. But I know what mental health illness is, and I know how hard and rough it is on some mornings when you know you're not totally focused on things you should be. And it's kind of hard to have that when you're losing track of everything else. Simone Biles over the U.S. Olympic Teams is being hailed as a hero. I hail her as a human being, struggling like crazy, along with every other athlete who looks at their situation and think maybe they're not going as best as they should, and the others feel so confident that they know they can struggle forward without having any issues. When you know in yourself that you're having lack of concentration, lack of will, lack of something, you know you're missing it. It's kind of hard to kind of refocus all over again. Some people will try some techniques, meditations, stretching exercises. For her, it's gymnastics. I have zero clue what she's going to be going through. I'm trying to recover her it. She has busted her butt to get this far. But somewhere deep inside, I think she's going to be digging even further, deeper. If this truly means something for her, then she'll go for another medal, or at least try to struggle again for the competition. Not for everybody around her, but just for her, if she knows somewhere deep inside. Because that's the thing about mental health illnesses. It's not encouragement. It's recognizing that we've got lack of something in there. We have to struggle to find out what it is, identify it, and then deal with it. For some of us, we still have a problem trying to identify that single source, that holdback. Now, how do I know about this kind of stuff? I'm going through it myself these days. I'm a lot older than she is, a lot uglier. And she's a strong-willed young woman. And I've seen a lot of strong-willed young women growing up, watching the Olympics, struggling like crazy, trying to get their goals going. Some actually fall from the wayside, and others actually do get the coveted top portion of it. But try to give their experience and their hope and their strength to others, being trainers. Showing them encouragement, showing them what it takes. I know. In our society, we have to show what it takes to be the best, to be the winner, to be. You got to be the elite. And the problem is, what we keep forgetting is how to be human. Human. We are imperfect creatures, but we want to be perfected. We want to be Olympian. We want to be demigods. We want to show that we're the best of the best of the best, and then we can live on that. And it's usually an ego and pride thing, but sometimes it's more than that. I think it's a way of stretching ourselves beyond what we can. And that's good for a lot of people who can actually summon the courage to do such a thing like that. But for the rest of us, who are still feeling like we're broken down and still struggling to pick up the pieces, at least we can look at people like that, and either we can take courage from their strength and courage, or else we'll look at them and scoff the living crap out of them, saying, what the hell do they know about struggle? The problem is they have their own struggles that even our own sick minds right now can't even fathom them. You're going to be asking me, do I know what it's like to be an Olympian champion? I've seen it. I've seen how these people go for it. Young people train like crazy because they think they got the potential, and then afterwards it's trying to deal with the consequences of your fame, or trying to be something different than what you were being. And you're younger, you can switch tracks. It takes a little bit of adjustment. When you're a lot older, it's a lot tougher because we've already got it ingrained in us that we've got this one track mind. But we can still do it. It just takes us a lot longer time to get to it. I know I'm one of those. Growing up as a kid, I didn't have that kind of momentum, that courage, that force of nature that pushed me forward. No, I didn't. I was one of those who was dealing with sickness, weakness, illness, death, coming back to life, and dealing with it all over again. Not to mention falling down, grabbing my face into things, or breaking an arm here or there, or doing something else. Getting into an accident, major one damn it kills me again. I know what the struggle of life and death is, literally. And I also know what the struggle of trying to survive in a damn working world. You can't even imagine this being in high school. When you get out of high school, you're either looking forward to being an adult during that time, or you're wanting to run back underneath the damn cave again. You're too damn old to run back in the cave. You have to face life as it is. And you have to have the courage to do so. Going through a college system will give you a little bit of the courage right there. You have friends, you have peers, theoretically. But if you're the isolating shy kind, I was, probably still am, then it's harder for me to adapt when I didn't have the support necessary to do so. Forced and pushed by parents saying, or one mother anyway, keep going, keep going. Not rah-rah-rah. It's like, you get another lousy grade, I'm going to kick the loving fucking shit out of you. All of a sudden. She saw a letter of academic separation. Just kind of broke her heart where she gave me two options. And in there she thinks, he couldn't even cut it through school, not even cut it through here? Alright, you schmuck. Work or homeless. It broke her heart to see me struggle like crazy at different jobs left and right because the money wasn't coming in. Because I didn't have a college education. I didn't believe in myself at the time. I was just working for survival. I didn't want to go out there in the cold world. I didn't know how to survive in the cold world. She knew it, so the only other option was to work. And she knew I could work. Well, maybe not as good, but I can still work. But she put a caveat on it. Not part-time, full-time, because we need money coming in that household. Part-time means I can just fuck around and fool around. That's how it was. You work full-time, you don't have enough time to mess up. You're dependent upon work schedules, on life schedules, and everything else going on. That's what happened. And I could blame my mother for the whole thing, because I can't blame Ma for this. She tried to tell me, she tried to raise me. She didn't like to see She thought I was a miserable failure. I felt I felt like I failed. I failed as a human being, I failed as a son, I failed, period. Not I fail like an F-E-L-L. No, I fail as an F-A-I-L. Had an E-D on it. I failed. I'm a failure. Now I gotta work my ass off and prove that I'm not a failure. Work at low minimum wages. Busting my ass for that damn check. Kicking my ass at the same damn time, being guilty about it. And she didn't have to give me the damn guilt trip. I was giving myself the guilt trip because I wasn't worthy of anything. So good. Busted my ass and damn near busted everything else in me. I worked my ass off in different jobs. I wasn't any skilled craftsman of any sorts, or any mechanic, or any electrician. I didn't have that kind of trade. No, because I didn't have the interest for the trade. Manual labor and clerical labor, and that's about it. Maybe throw me behind a register if I was lucky enough to survive it. Got to the point where even that kind of stressed me out a little bit. It surprised the living crap out of her. So, while she's trying to run a business, she used me and tried to build up her own business by having me do her office work. Keying to punching the numbers. I don't remember punching, but just punching the numbers in there. Writing letters, learning how to write letters. Filing. A little bit of office skills right there for an entire year until I went back in their regular office. So I went back out there in the office world again. And a little bit of retail as well. But I also took the time to get back into a college course, even though it was a business college, of learning new skills to hopefully better improve myself. And struggle with that as well. Some of it I did okay, now that I did. But the thing is, I struggled. Now, I'm not on the level of an Olympian athlete, mentally or physically. I had my own struggles and my own challenges. And I also had to battle my own damn selfishness at that point over there, because sometimes I didn't want to do the shit. I didn't want to work my ass off. I didn't want to go to school. I just didn't know what the hell I needed to do or wanted to do. But it's not the want. It's the need. You have to work, you have to survive. That's all there is to it. I was drilled, I was trained into me. That's what I was thinking. Survival. I see the athletes plugging away. It's not their survival they're going on. It's whatever drives them inside that keeps them going. And when you can't find that, you really got a problem there. You make it all the way nearly to the apex, and then you're trying to figure out what the hell happened. Because sometimes you get sidetracked, and when you do get sidetracked, it's hard to pick up the pace again. I know how that is. I should say I'm grateful that I had a lot of jobs and a lot of job training experiences and different things. I'm still not a tradesman. I'm still not a craftsman. I'm not an electrician. I'm not a plumber. A glorified office clerk, learning how to be a call center geek, and still having retail training and customer service training. That's it. Low end, low paying jobs. Throw me in a damn fast food. Okay, fine. What do you got? I'll try to keep up with it. I'll cook without killing them. Throw me behind a register. I'm not quite sure if that register is going to balance it out, but I'll work on it. Call center, I got to figure out what the situation is so I can do a one call resolution. Solve their damn problem. what I did. I'm not pumping myself saying, yay, yay, yay. I did what I did for survival. And here I am at the age of 55, pushing about 5.5, almost 6 years of college. 2 classes at a time. Because the job industry damn near killed me. Going through enough mental illness as it is during that time. And losing family doesn't exactly help me much in my own survival or struggling. Some days you crawl through the damn mud with your hands and knees. Sometimes you slither. But you crawl, nevertheless. You keep moving. And some days it's not that easy. Because when I hardly have anybody to look at me and say that you're going to be doing better than you are right now, it's kind of hard to pick yourself up sometimes, you know? And sometimes I look in the mirror and say, ugh, become confident when you wake up first. That's what it's like this morning, waking up. Then hearing people dropping out left and right. Either they physically can't hack it at that point, or mentally, they're broken. They're trying to find the pieces to pick it up. And it's hard to pick it up, especially when you're dealing with mental health illness. Because you have to find out what broke you, and then get the crazy glue and put it back together again, carefully, so you can get back into the game. Or just say, enough's enough, and just move on with something else. I'm not at that point of going to school just yet, and I almost came damn close to doing that, especially when I lost my brother in 2018. Yeah, I'm going to use it as an example because it is the straw that broke my back. I'm not putting a blame, I'm just describing and I'm explaining. Because sometimes when I feel like I'm explaining this thing, it has the weirdest connotations and denotations attached to it. And I feel like I'm on self-defense here. I have to defend myself against something or someone out there. Because I have to prove something to them. I don't have to prove anything to them. The only thing I have to prove is to myself at this point over here. But when I tell you something, when I lost my brother, I was still trying to find my niche in school and kicking ass, and then all of a sudden, he passes away, and in life, flip-flops and flip-flops me again. So, understanding Miss Biles and her losing track and losing orientation in the midst of her work, I relate to that. The mental struggle right there, I understand that completely. Because I look at him, the ashes of this moon over here. And it's a constant looking over and understanding where that flip-flop is coming from. My grief, my pain, my loss. And it still hampers me. But I'm still struggling. Even if it's one or so back up to 2 classes at a time. At this point, I can do this. Struggle, yeah. That's all it is. It's just a struggle. So, I can try relating with these athletes on that level. And yes, you are seeing flies about. There's no special effects. Summertime has brought these little bastards around here. I wish I didn't have to deal with them, but I do have to deal with them. Irritating as they are. Much like the thoughts and feelings I have of myself. Much like the uncertainty that Miss Biles faces in her Olympic competitions. It's not exactly the physical competitions, it's the mental competition. She's competing against herself, against her younger self. She's competing against a shadow or something that she wants to be better at. And the only thing I think she can be better is better than her, period. There's almost no other way to explain it. Because there is something of her holding her back. And if she can fight that, if she can do this during the Olympic competition, and hopefully get through it, and then struggle through her own physical struggles, maybe somehow she'll be able to feel part of the team. She still is part of the team. But when you held back like this, it's kind of hard to feel not part of it. Because you feel like you're not worthy of anything. Self-doubt creeps in. Kind of gives you a hell of a lot of poison pumped into your brain and into your soul, where you're questioning everything that you're doing this point on. Despite the fact you're hearing the external compliments, it's the internal one that's at odds with each other. And there has to be a reconciliation. It has to work together. The way I can explain it. This is the daily struggle we have with mental health illness. We wake up, we face the day's challenges, we either rise up to the extension, or we crawl back to bed and sleep it off. Some of us can't sleep it off or take medications for it. We have to struggle with it day by day, walking the streets, walking the reality, or going into different places and dealing with it. It's not easy for me asking for help. I hardly ever do that because I got my pride, my hubris, my ego at work. Thinking I know better, I can survive this, I can. And sometimes I do need the damn help. And it's hard for me to ask for that help, or for people to be kind enough to give me some space so I can try working on this damn thing. Michael Phelps was one of those athletes who was struggling with that as well these days. Even while he was going through Olympic competition, he had to ask himself, what's the point? Well, the point is whatever you were making at that time. If you thought this was worthwhile, absolutely worthwhile for you to do this, you were going to do this. He's struggled through it all his life, and then he gets his medals, and he's still struggling with it. He reached his apex, and then still asking himself, well, is this enough? It's not the medal count, even though it's nice. And they are representation for it. But there has to be more to it than that. He's still dealing with his own Olympics inside. It's not the competition of the other swimmers, it's his own swimmer inside that's still having a problem, still having an issue. He's still swimming against himself at this point over here, and the other side is kicking his ass. And he knows it, he recognizes it. These are swimming metaphors. I wake up in the morning, some days I don't even look at the damn mirror anymore. Because I know I look at an ugly face. It's not the physical beauty I'm looking at, it's like looking at myself in the mirror, seeing whether or not I'm seeing Mr. Hyde today, or am I seeing the creature from Mary Shelley Wollstonecraft's book? Or am I actually seeing my own face? Am I feeling that out of it where I am not functioning? Am I out of it because I am lacking sleep? Am I out of it because I'm lacking something that should be telling me that I should already have a long time ago? Or still need to develop? What is it? What is it? I don't know. Tell me. But other people can't tell me. Because they can't get in here to find out what the hell's going on unless I allow them to get in there. Unless I already know what the hell it is, then I can explain it to them. But if I don't know what the hell the damn thing is, fine. A lot of times I've been doing all the videos and audio recordings left and right is a way for me to examine myself day by day by day. And sometimes minute by minute by minute what the hell's going on inside of me. The constant logs, the constant reports, trying to get the shit off my chest. Because eventually either I'll discover the damn thing, and that's cool. And then maybe I could use those things for a roadmap or a landmark that maybe other people down the road can listen to and understand what the hell's going on inside of me. Sometimes it's not just hubris or ego or pride. It's I need to communicate this stuff to the outside world, because eventually if I'm not going to be able to communicate with it, and if somebody else is still going through the same damn shit, maybe they can understand what the hell's going on. But they're still going through a struggle, or they still can't figure it out. But if they can get a clue from somewhere, maybe I'm the clue for them. So then again, I've got a purpose for that. I can get myself repurposed at this point over here. Look at the world and not sing proudly and boldly like Julie Andrews did in Sound of Music, but go outside and just take a deep breath and just sigh. Say being trapped by the four walls, physically and mentally. The sun's coming. Right now the sun is coming up physically. Is it coming up physically for me, mentally? I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm hoping today is going to be another good day. That I don't think of suicide. That I don't think of killing myself. That I don't think that I'm not worthy of anything and anybody. That I'm not worthy of myself. Because I know I got to bring my A game when I'm going back to college. And I will struggle like crazy. Despite the fact that we've had a year and a half about the damn disease changing everything else that we know and believe and live through, and have taken for granted throughout our lifetimes. And now we have to restructure ourselves and repurpose ourselves. And this is the hard thing for us to do. This is the challenge we've got. Me doing a morning broadcast like this and shoving it out there, I am trying to tell to Miss Deal, smile, to everybody else, including Michael Phelps, look, you're not the only ones going through the same damn roller coaster. There are a lot of other words to describe this damn thing, I'll tell you that. You're not the only ones. You're not the only ones that struggle. Things I call landmines and triggers. The senses pick up on them, and then boom, I'm like, and then whee! And especially when I'm dealing with a hell of a lot of grief and a lot of anxiety and a lot of PTSD and a hell of a lot of everything else going on inside of my damn head, a lot of pain. It's off to the races, boys and girls. Whether or not I'm actually going to win this one at my own Hollywood Park, I don't know. But keep this in mind. I'm not the only one. So, the companies out there, trying to communicate with them is a different thing altogether. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I don't have those kind of cute themes or cute expressions or anything else like that. I'm keeping it real, damn it. I'm keeping it real. I get my own little disclaimer sometimes that I'm not a guru or whatever anything. No, I'm not. I'm a 55-year-old broken down old piece of shit fart that's seen too much and been through that much. He's giving out his opinions and advice like crazy, but the thing is, I'm not a guru in anything. I'm not even lettered in anything. I'm still going through a damn community college at my age. And not just because of out of guilt, mostly because it is out of guilt, because I kick myself so many fucking years. I wanted to do this, besides for the family, but I wanted to do this for me, damn it. I mean, I did make a promise to my mother a long time ago when I was a young kid. And after seeing things, and been through things I've been through, college should have been important to me a long time ago, and it wasn't. It's not the Olympics, but it should have been the Olympics for me. It should have been. K through 12 should have been the pre-trials until I get into college where I can actually use the skills. But no, I didn't. I flunked out on the damn thing. 2 years, or 2.5 years, I've lost track. I gotta look at my transcripts. But it's a long time anyway. Did over about 3 decades kicking my ass on this one. My mother keels over. I've been keeled over at a job. Well, damn near killed by a damn tire. I kid you not. Yeah, it's a hell of an experience to go through, and I'd rather not recommend it to anybody. One does not feel fine after seeing a tire smash your damn face in. Especially with a frickin' truck tire with an all-terrain weather. About a 50, 60 pound piece of rubber coming on your face. Full force. Built enough momentum to knock my ass out. While I'm standing. What do you call the ambulance? That's Walmart for you. And that's my needling right there. That's reality check. Screws on my back, screws on my neck, and opens up the damn Pandora's box in the head, and all hell breaks loose. Then Ma dies. It's even worse. Life hits you here and there, and then you're like, Peggy. So yeah, long-winded monologue. But this is what I am. This is what I am today. My other videos were what I was thinking during those times. Some of them actually stays that way, and the others, they'll get the change in time. So to the U.S. Olympic team, to the athletes who are still trying to get there, take it a day at a time. A minute at a time if you have to. Even for those who are still struggling with their own damn demons. And they're not athletes, not Olympians, but they are Olympians in their own spirit. This is for you guys.